Hi, it's week 3 of curriculum design, and on Sunday you posted your education philosophy in discussion board 2. Remember, you have until midnight tonight to respond to, or I'm sorry, you have until tomorrow to respond to 2 peers. And then there was this optional article about the multicultural education model. If the reconceptualist was part of your education philosophy, then you should definitely check out this article, but I think everyone will find it really insightful. That will be the end of module 2, and tomorrow we start the next module. Curriculum standards. So the objective, students will examine standards that shape one content area in their grade or for your content area and grade, just depending on if you're elementary or secondary, the way the standards are written. So if you're elementary, basically just pick one subject. Do you want to look at English language arts and literacy? Do you want to look at mathematics? Do you want to look at science? Do you want to look at social studies? I know sometimes we're so focused on literacy and math that we haven't had a chance to really look at those standards, and so this would be a good time to do that if you would like to. If you are teaching in high school, let's say that you teach algebra and geometry, then you could just choose one. You can just choose geometry if you want to. You'll examine your own curriculum to see if you are addressing all of the standards, and you'll reflect on your judgment of what is valuable for students to learn and create a sequence of what standards should be taught when. So all of the standards are linked in Canvas for you. There's also some slides here for you to read. So what you'll do first is complete the state standards and national standards checklist. You will use the sequence of the template to draft a sequence for your court and curriculum, and then complete discussion board 3. So let's break this down. I put this quote in here because I think sometimes we think of standards as about accountability and about testing, but really standards are supposed to be goal setting. And just like in life, you set a goal to articulate where you want to be. And so this quote just helps us think about standards in that way. Cheshire Puss, would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here? That depends a great deal on where you want to get to, said the cat. I don't much care where, said Alice. Then it doesn't matter which way you go, said the cat. As long as I get somewhere, Alice added as an explanation. Oh, you're sure to do that, said the cat, if you only walk long enough. So again, just that the standards are to help us set a goal for where we want to get to and help us to head in that direction. There's different levels of curriculum. Level 1 is kind of the overarching, what is the aim of education? Maybe your school has an official aim or an official mission. Your purpose for education, your education philosophy, those are these level 1. Level 2 are the national standards and state standards. So these are official documents. Level 3 is the district. Sometimes the district breaks down the standards or into a certain sequence or elaborates on the standards or adds some that are particular to the local context. And then level 4 is the instructional goals. And so the instructional goals and the instructional objectives are what we as teachers use on a daily basis. So what you're going to do now, I'm going to come back to this, okay? What you're going to do now is look at the state standards and then look at a set of national standards or a couple. If you are integrating social justice, look at these. If you're integrating global competence, look at these. If you are focusing on differentiation, then you will just look at the subject area. Again, focus on one grade level. If you are in secondary, focus on one subject if you are in elementary. And then I have in a Google Sheet, if you look back to that first page, a way for you to check mark what you do and what you don't. So you'll have to change these to match whatever your grade level and whatever your standards are. There's one, so you can see down here, a national and a state, so that you can look at what you teach and see if you are hitting all of the standards. In the PowerPoint, we'll talk about priority standards and secondary standards. So priority standards, you may want to hit more than once. You will introduce it and then develop it and then have mastery of that standard. So it's okay if you hit a standard more than once. It's not okay if you don't hit a standard at all. That's what we're kind of looking for. And then the national checklist, you can do the same thing, renumber it. And in case you're not familiar with Google Docs, in order to do this, you'll have to make a copy of this Google Doc. That way you can edit it in your own drive. UMSL provides each of us a Google Suite. So your UMSL ID, so maybe you can see here, this is my UMSL account. Your UMSL account works as Google Drive too. If you don't know how to do this, then talk to talk to Ala, our online mentor, and she can help you. Okay, so going back to discussion board 3. Then let me know, does your curriculum need to change to meet any of the standards? So Caitlin's already looked at this, and Kelsey. And then you don't necessarily need to reply to other people's, but you can if you want to. All right, there were a couple things that I skipped over because I just wanted you to look at these really quickly. Okay, this is a project that isn't necessarily due this week, but I want you to start thinking of it. So you are going to be looking about articles related to curriculum in the news. They can be for St. Louis or for your community, or they can be national conversations. When you look at your national standards, you'll see that on a lot of professional organizations' websites, they have a blog or they have some articles. Education Week is another one that you could look at for different articles, different things going on in the news. All right. And then you will create a voice thread to talk to us about what you read and what you think about it. Here is a tutorial for how to make a voice thread. And then here is a guide that's step-by-step that you can follow as you're making it. So that we don't have everyone presenting on the last week, please sign up. So Kelsey and Craig have a start. I know some of you have already started too because you've emailed me the article. And you don't have to send me the article ahead of time, but if you want to, you can. Okay. And then this is just a flow chart for those of you that are looking to go into curriculum leadership at your school or district level, or those of you that already are. This is a way to think about how curriculum works at that level. So while in this course, the product that we are making is for a class, if you're at the district level, you'd start with program evaluation. For the class level, we started with an evaluation of what standards are covered and what needs to be covered better. At the district level or the program level, you would create a survey or a focus group to get some feedback and to evaluate what needs to be strengthened what is already really good, what opportunities there are in the school or the district, and then what are some possible threats to curriculum implementation that are happening. And then you would study achievement data as well as the data you collected. Then you would start writing the curriculum and go through the phases. You can look through that. All right, so this is the beginning of Module 2, and your discussion board number 3 is due February 10th. Thank you.